All right, here we go. Welcome to Levels, your MMA and boxing show to watch. If you like seeing other people get punched in the face, but you're not at Walmart and it's not holiday season, well, this is the show for you. I'm Jeremy Long. This is the Sportsnista, Cassandra Cusino. Cece, how are you this evening?
I'm all right. It sounds like we're both fighting a little bit of,
Got a little bit of that going on.
A little bit of holiday. Hey, here's your chest.
Yeah, a little, let me clear my throat a little bit. So I'm down in some water over here. Is that post-holidays, whatever you want to call it? Fungi in the air, man. New year?
Yeah.
New year, new us.
New
same
decade.
Yeah, and whole new, see you next decade. You get a lot of that. If I had a nickel now for every time someone has posted 2020 vision, it's time for 2020 vision. Oh my God.
You know what?
I'm already over that.
I'm over
that. You haven't?
No, but I kind of like it.
Oh,
2020 vision. Yes. I have glasses.
Oh, see, okay, yeah. All those blind people are hoping for 2020 vision.
No, I just got them.
Oh, okay.
I just got some new ones in December.
Well, it's a whole new decade, like you said, a whole new fight year, fight season, a whole new thing going on. So in a little bit, we're gonna have the fights that we hope to see in 2020, no matter how outlandish.
We hope promoters act right.
If they act right, I know we're gonna get a couple of these. Some of them are gonna come up, but we're probably not gonna get all of these because promoters like to draw that out. So you can chime into the number is 702-608-3259. If you want to join in discussion, you can call the show. And let me give a shout out real quick to Mossberg Injury Lawyers, our sponsor for the show. From accidents to injuries, workers' comp, and even wrongful death, Mossberg Injury Lawyers are the #1 legal team in Nevada. They really did. They just won a bunch of awards for that. Call 702-222-4555. 702-222-4555. Mossberg Injury Lawyers. Thank you, Marcus Berg and those guys for supporting the show. Let's get in some news and notes. It always kind of quiets down around this time of year. UFC had their big show a couple weeks ago. They usually take some time off and then start up again in a couple of weeks, like they will with Cowboy Cerrone and Conor McGregor. That guy, the Irish guy.
Lately.
Conor McGregor looks huge, right?
He's,
wow.
Looking like 168.
Man, he is looking he's looking big, man, like 168 and a half. Maybe he's laid off the whiskey. He's not really on Twitter. He's not doing anything like that. And
making the cut now.
Yeah, and so it's kind of falling on the coaches. The coaches kind of talking smack back and forth.
Right.
Kavanaugh and Cerrone's coaches, they're kind of trading some barbs. I thought somewhere Cerrone's coach is like, all the Irishman has is that left hand. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a hell of a left hand.
Yeah, if you got one trick, that's a good trick to have.
That's a good trick to have. It's knocked out some really great champions.
Jose Aldo.
Yeah, and Eddie Alvarez. He made Eddie Alvarez look like a fool. Like he ain't never fought before in his life. And you're talking to one of the most violent men on earth and everything. So got a lot of stuff. But in this lull, in this gap there, we kind of have PFL, Professional Fighters League.
Did watch.
They've kind of had, I don't know, what do you think about PFL? They kind of feel like they had that year that maybe tips them over into irrelevant.
They have a very charismatic CEO. They obviously have some financial backing. Although I don't know how that $1 million is paid out. It said, they have a big check out there, but you can't bring that check to the bank. As far as I know, I hope they didn't pay these dudes.
They give them a regular size check.
Give them a regular check. But what's crazy about it?
You go to the drive-through with that?
I was thinking
2 forms of ID.
It was so whack though. They had it. They should have. If it was fighter friendly, they'd have done it the opposite way. They would have had the playoffs in New York and then had the big show in Las Vegas because now you got to pay those New York City taxes on that $1 million. In Nevada, you wouldn't have any state taxes to pay. So you got Uncle Sam and his crooked brother that you got to pay. And then anybody involved in the camp, you've got to pay as well, and your insurance and stuff. I was like, man, that's probably like $550.
And see, I'm not sure how it works. I know for baseball players, like they have to pay for each city they live in and train in and things like that. They get you coming and going when you play in these professional sports. So is it the same for fighters? I wonder. Do they, if you train out of Las Vegas and then you just go to New York to fight? But I guess you only earn your money in New York.
Yeah, the money's cut out in New York.
Yeah,
so that's where
I guess that's where the difference would be.
The highest freaking taxes in the nation, like just half.
That's disgusting, right there.
They half Eddie. So no, it's really whack.
But PFL kind of making a name for themselves. Like they just signed Rory McDonald.
Yeah.
Big,
looks
pretty
good.
Decent signing for them.
He's looking better as he ages. He's almost too pretty now to be fighting MMA. I was like, Rory, why you gonna do that?
He looks like a psycho. He looks like he legitimately has murdered a couple of people. You know, I mean,
Hair looks good. All that.
Yeah.
He got himself together to go get in there and get
that nose
busted up.
job he got that nose job again. His nose is all straight again, you know. But I mean, they're kind of making stars out of Kayla Harrison is probably their biggest, most promoted star anyway.
She's the most promoted, although they had a couple of other back-to-back champions on that card. So.
Lance Palmer is a guy who, if he was in UFC, would probably be a bigger name. Ray Cooper III. Another heavy-handed guy. Man,
with that body shot, did you hear it?
Yeah.
Like I heard it. It just went crunch.
Man,
crunch,
just like, powerful guy. So I mean, they're kind of building. They're building. I feel like they're turning a corner. Good for PFL because we need that kind of. We need more of that.
Did you watch Bellator at all?
No, I didn't watch Bellator.
You didn't watch
Rampage? I caught Rampage and Fedor.
See, I would rather see PFL than anything that was on that messy old card.
Yeah, I feel that at this point, Bellator has done what Bellator's going to do. I thought at one point they were building towards something, and it seems like they are perfectly content being
the old folks
kind of the place where guys retire to and all that kind of stuff.
It's
and they
island of misfit toys over there.
I can't understand for the life of me how you have a company like Viacom behind you. Yeah. And you haven't made any new stars.
And it's whack.
And you don't have them in different places.
Yeah,
you don't have them out there and marketing anything. I think Scott Coker is a good matchmaker kind of MMA kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows anything about the other side of this.
No.
And I think that's where there's a lot of shortcomings.
Well, you've got Chris Cyborg, just who will be fighting. I think it's the 22nd of this month or so.
But you're talking about an already established name coming in.
Yeah.
Frank Mir, established name coming in. Yeah. Fedor, established name coming in. Tell me about the other people. I mean, I guess they're trying to build MVP by giving him tomato can after tomato can. But the one serious guy he's faced absolutely crushed his skull. So, so I mean, and you have Michael Chandler. Maybe, who's
Chandler's probably the guy that you could see developing over there and actually getting a bigger
But he's
contract.
already 34. Yeah. Chandler's already 34.
Is he that old?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the other side of 30.
Again,
I know that.
Retirement home.
Yeah, and he's, kind of back and forth. But again, you have a bunch of guys who are not really about promoting themselves.
Right.
I'm just a fighter. The Pitbull brothers.
Yeah.
Language barrier, but they do speak some English, but they're not interested in really promoting.
Not at all.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Bellator
is a hot mess right now. So
I think it peaked when Kimbo and Dada 5000 hugged each other, literally to death. So that's that. Dana White ensures that his deal with Floyd Mayweather is for Floyd to actually compete. Now, he didn't say whether that was going to be the octagon or boxing ring. You have to figure it's not the octagon. But he's going to actually compete in the fall. Are you actually buying what Dana White is saying here?
He said this money is for Floyd to compete. So is Floyd going to be then the headmaster for like the next Contender Series or something? I mean,
or whatever Zuffa boxing is going to be.
I cannot. The money is, when Floyd is inside of a squared circle, that's when all the money can be made. No one is going to be paying to watch Floyd be on the floor,
on the side,
cheering somebody on. It's not going to happen. But Floyd is turning 42 this February.
Yeah. So is he gonna? I wonder, is he going to fight MMA guys?
It just doesn't. It has to be
Is he fighting
boxing.
Khabib?
I mean, it has to be boxing.
Yeah.
At this point, he's not going to learn any new MMA.
He's not doing MMA.
I do have some sources that said Floyd is training to compete right now. Don't know what that means though.
Hey, man.
I think Dana's right that the money is there if Floyd is competing. I just don't know competing how.
Floyd always puts those, his elaborate expenditures out there on Instagram and Twitter and all that. The receipts from Louis Vuitton for $60,000 and stuff. You can burn through some cash, man, and he's supporting a lot of people in a business and a lot of stuff like that. So maybe he's going, well, I mean, if you gave me an option, hey, can you just come make $200 million with us real quick, and then you can go back to doing whatever. At this point, even if Floyd boxed and some legitimate contest had lost, would his legacy be that hurt?
No, I mean his legacy is cemented right now, so it's just all tomfoolery right now, or Dana foolery or whatever.
Dana foolery.
It is. I don't want to see him box. I think a lot of people are interested to see Floyd back in some capacity. He still is the most important and prominent name in the sport. He moves in the dude. He sends out an Instagram post saying, "I'm thinking about coming back," and the whole world goes crazy.
And that's the truth. I mean, Floyd remains that. I mean, that's a large shadow for such a small guy.
Yeah,
that's a large shadow.
He ain't that big.
No, he ain't that big. Eddie Hearn, he's worried about Fury's cut reopening if he trains with Joshua for the Wilder rematch there.
Eddie.
What are you hearing about this?
Eddie, you crazy Eddie. Oh, do you remember that? I mean, I'm a New Yorker, so we had this place called Crazy Eddie's, and there was this dude named Eddie who was always shouting all the time, like, come by here and get this deal. That's kind of what Eddie Hearn is. But he said something interesting to me, and I'm always looking for the nuances in what people say, and he said, it's weird. First of all, he doesn't want them to fight. He thinks that, that cut is very suspect. It's 47 stitches. But he said it's weird because he might fight the winner of Fury Wilder.
Yeah.
He said might. Doesn't sound like a man who's trying to make that fight happen, does it?
Eddie Hearn does not want Anthony Joshua to have anything to do with Deontay Wilder. If you got knocked out by Ruiz, he gonna get sent to the shadow realm.
Yeah, just
by
murked.
Wilder. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get worked. Like we said, he's got. Can he get outboxed by Joshua? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, but all Wilder needs to do is land one punch, one right hand, and that's game over. And Joshua's already shown he can't handle those big punches.
And he handled Jake and the Fat Man in last month's fight, and good for you. He looked great at it. He had all these boxing skills. He stayed on the outside, and you outran the dude who couldn't walk to the urinal fast. So I'm not. Tyson Fury would warm him up.
Yeah.
I mean, he would definitely, because Tyson outboxes probably anybody in the heavyweight division right now.
Yeah, and Tyson and Anthony Joshua would actually do huge business in Europe. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
international, all around the world, people paying for that.
Huge business. Even if they had it in Las Vegas, it would do huge business. But he's looking at 90,000 plus. That's what he's looking at for stadiums. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But so the risk reward kind of thing. Yeah. He gets with Fury, it's going to be a boxing match. He gets with Wilder, it's going to be a knockout party. So there you go. I can see, but Fury's cut reopening is got to be a real.
It definitely
a real concern.
And you know what else has to be a concern if you're in Tyson Fury's camp? There's a lot of changes happening around him very close to this fight. He gets rid of Davidson as his trainer, goes back, has a trainer with him that he knows. But there's that. He's training with Darren Till, talking about MMA guys. I'm a little bit concerned that Tyson Fury is not as focused as he needs to be. We know that he has some issues outside of the ring, and so I don't know if his mind is right.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Well, I don't know if it's that, but I think he's a very sensitive fighter. and Otto Wallin busted his head open.
Yeah,
And
got into his head in more ways than
yeah,
one. Yeah,
they weren't expecting that.
no, Otto Wallin
Yeah.
really put it on him.
A 25-year-old Otto Wallin.
Yeah,
Nobody knew about. It was supposed to be just
That's-
this, little keep the body warm
yeah.
kind of fight, and so I'm a little bit interested to see what he's like. Now, there's not going to be a press tour.
No press tour.
No press tour for this fight. So
What are they saying? Do they feel they don't need that press tour?
they feel, well, Bob Arum is on the record as saying that they don't need to do it. They are going to, they were at a couple, Tyson was at, I think it was an Ohio State game, one of the bowl games over the Christmas holiday. And they will both be at the Super Bowl. And they probably will show up at one more major event. And it's economically better because it's probably about $500,000 to about $1 million to promote a legit press tour with those guys if they're going to go, both coast to coast around the country to do it. So instead, they're going to use that ESPN and Fox platform and have them show up at those major events. It is a press tour. If you think about it, they just ain't calling it a press tour.
Well, if you have those kind of media partners,
That'll
let them
leverage
do it.
Yep.
They're like the MMA journalists out there. Oh, just give us anything. We'll tell you whatever story you want us to tell.
Whatever you said, MMA.
Yeah, whatever you said, Uncle Dana.
You said MMA journalist. You funny.
Yeah, no, like real journalists. There's like 3 of them out there.
Yeah.
You included, and you're sitting right
there. Well, 10 games.
Ooh, shots fired. New footage of Errol Spence in a hospital bed getting blood drawn, and police are showing the loaded weapon found at the scene. More and more issues for young Errol Spence. What are you hearing about Mr. Junior?
First of all, I hope people got fired over this. There was the footage that TMZ had of him in that hospital bed. It looked ominous. Did you happen to see it? No, and it was brief.
Yeah.
But his face was all connected to different stuff. He's jacked up. He's
Shows
in
you
ICU.
the seriousness of
Right. I mean, there are HIPAA laws.
The seriousness, and then what was actually reported and released by the fight camp.
And I'm still not convinced that he is not under house arrest right now. Something crazy. I mean, Errol, he's been out for work-related things.
Yeah.
But if you are in ICU for a number of days, there's something, it's called intensive care unit for a reason. You didn't just have some teeth busted. But there are HIPAA laws, and HIPAA protects patient rights. And whoever showed that man in that hospital bed, like them and people related to them, should be brought up on charges for that.
Yeah. Whoever did that was doing something dirty, whether it was
Real
his team
dirty.
or someone else snuck in there, which happens all the time with celebrities.
But
it
it was
happens
like
all
that
the time.
that phone was so close to the
Someone
cop
had to
that
be
was in the room. Somebody, it was probably
up on
like
him.
in a pocket, I would think.
Yeah.
Like where a physician would hold pens, for instance. That's what it seemed
Those
like.
pen
to
cams
me.
they have, those are real things.
It seemed like, and there, one of the cops on the scene, it was a female voice. She was telling the other cop that it was Errol Spence, the boxer. He was like, "Oh, is he famous?" She's like, "Oh yeah, he just fought at Texas Stadium." And then they brought in the gun, and I don't know, it was a loaded weapon. And it was said, "Oh, it's just worth $1,000," but they were like being sarcastic at it. It was
and both these videos almost look like body cam.
Yeah, that's
like
why
somebody wearing a hidden camera on them.
Yeah, if it wasn't the police officer in that hospital bed, it was most likely someone who had a phone in their lapel pocket.
And it looks like, because I'm seeing the one with the gun, and it looks like the same like fisheye lens as the one in the hospital, which is
definitely body cam.
It's a body cam. So I think both videos are from the police footage.
I'm actually disgusted by the whole
So that means
thing.
a cop, someone that works in the police department, let that loose to TMZ.
Oh my God, we're shocked.
Effed up,
Texas police would do that?
Surprise!
Yeah, I know, right? We're all shocked.
That is super messed up. Yeah, I was actually angry when I saw it, but it also, again, underscores the gravity of the whole incident with him.
Yeah.
But he wasn't charged on no gun charges because they couldn't prove that it's his gun. Meaning they didn't
no,
even
he
run
wasn't
the
even in the
fingerprints.
vehicle. What are you talking
Right,
about?
but they didn't run the fingerprints. That you know what that's the result of? Some real good lawyering. Real good lawyering right there. They didn't run the prints to find out if the gun belonged.
Must have been Marcus Berg and his team at Mossberg.
You know what I'm saying?
We are not admitting to anything. No fingerprints, nothing.
This is whack. I see you, Natasha Clemens. You know Crazy Eddie.
Chan Sung Jung, otherwise known as the Korean Zombie in the UFC, makes his case to face the new champion, Volkanovski. I can beat him, and this is a direct quote, I can beat him easier than Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Those are big words, because Volkanovski just put that hurting on Max Holloway, and Max defended his belt a few times and is a very good fighter. Chan Sung Jung, England. I think the Korean Zombie has finally figured out you got to run your mouth to get fights in the UFC. People got to stir it up. So you got to start calling people out. There's no more respectful Japanese fighters coming in going, hey, I'll just get my shot. I'll earn my shot whenever.
Like, y'all Americans talk smack and get what you want. What?
Yeah, and I'm trying to get paid and trying to get title fights.
Yep.
So what do you think? Is he actually better? Could he handle Volkanovski? Yeah.
So as of when they fought, the company line was that they were considering running it back, that Max deserved a rematch at his title. So if that doesn't happen, then let the zombie loose.
Man, I get so tired of just automatic rematches.
It's like, why have a rematch? You fought.
The
result of the fight is you either win or lose. Like, you don't get to run it back. There's no such thing.
If it comes to a draw or a really, really close split decision, okay, whatever. But most of the time, these guys are getting blown out, and they're like, oh, immediate rematch.
Like, that one was close enough, but listen,
you lost, man.
Aldo
go
deserves a rematch. Like that Aldo, I can see that one.
I can see that.
Because the judging was suspect.
Yes.
On that. But Max Holloway, I think you need to have another fight to
Max
prove
just got
that
beat.
You can. That's what happened.
He just got beat, and it happened.
That's all.
Like Frankie Edgar, with that horrible hairdo of his.
Man.
He just got beat.
I just rewatched that Aldo fight, and he won the second time I saw it, too.
Yeah. Jose Aldo won. He
Yep.
won that fight, man. He got screwed. So that's the news. Yeah.
Wait, hey, go on, get your cornbread.
All right, let's kind of move over to the top 10 fights we want to see in 2020. Like I said earlier, some on here are kind of just out there, speculative. Like, hopefully this will happen. Some are going to probably actually happen, but it's all who we want to see and hope to see, and we probably won't see. We probably won't see a lot of
promoters be whack.
I noticed what you put up here. Tank, Gervonta Davis versus Gamboa. Or was this is a talking point.
Twitter. It was like they've been going back and forth on
Tank and Bud Crawford.
Right. Okay. So after Tank fought Gamboa, so
38-year-old Gamboa,
let's talk about that
who had a ruptured Achilles from the second round on
one leg,
and he still couldn't put him away until late in the fight.
On one leg, and you saw it. Like he was on skates for a minute.
What do you think Prime Gamboa would have done? Do you think he would have still lost that fight, or do you think he would actually put it on Tank? Because people see the 38-year-old Gamboa.
Yeah.
But Prime Gamboa, that was a tough cookie.
Yeah, but Prime Gambi had a suspect chin. I don't know where this chin came from because he was eating significant shots.
He was eating uppercuts.
Whoa!
But he also was getting just teed off on at one point. He couldn't move.
Yeah.
And Tank was just lining up. I mean, I think the uppercuts that actually put him down, Tank actually lined up 4 uppercuts and was just tagging him in there. You know, I mean, Gamboa couldn't move. He couldn't get out of the way of
anything.
Him, you know?
He had no head movement or anything. What did you think about the corner sending him back out after Gamboa said, "I can't go"?
That's rough. Yeah.
He said, "I can't go."
Yeah, I can't go. And your corner sends you back out there, man. Either someone's not looking out for your health and well-being, or
they made a deal with Tank.
Yeah, they made a deal and they had money on you can't lose now.
Right.
You at least got to cover the first 4 rounds so I can get paid. Somebody was not looking out for his health, man. I mean, for a fighter to I've seen fights stop for less, you know?
I mean, what does he get out of finishing a fight like that?
Yeah.
I mean, you sustain some more damage. That's what you get.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
You know, he was tagged all throughout that fight. Headshots, nonetheless.
Yeah.
And it angers you after seeing the year 2019, we lost several fighters in the ring. And if you can protect your guy, you should protect your guy, especially he's 38 years old and you know that he's on one leg. So even after he was trying to take his shoe off and they're like, no, don't take the shoe off. And it took them 3 freaking rounds to tape the foot. His foot was coming out of his shoe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, pink slips.
Insanity,
Pink slips.
man.
Y'all whack for that.
Man. And that's where, I mean, someone, okay, not even just the corner, because the corners are just going to do what the corners are going to do and whatever they feel is best. But the referee, the commission, doctors at ringside, anyone sitting there, you have these people in place. That's your system. Right. That's supposed to be the system. You see a guy, he is obviously out of his element for whatever reason. You're supposed to protect the fighter above anything else. And the whole system felt him.
All of them.
They all
that Atlanta commission was a clown show from the beginning. They had the melee at the weigh-in. First of all, why were there 40 people on the stage? And you had Paul Williams up there in the wheelchair.
Yeah, Paul. You got him up there in the wheelchair.
In the wheelchair, and these fools, and like Evander Holyfield, who has had his ear bitten off in the ring, was holding the belt. And y'all got to look back at Evander's face when Tank pushed this man. And then all that, like, Evander was like, what you doing?
What's going on here? These children are fighting in front of me. I don't know what's going on here.
The ham sandwich is going on with you idiots.
Yeah, it was a crap show. You could, you know, if that would have happened in Texas, I wouldn't have been surprised. So, I mean, for it to happen in Atlanta, I'm not really that surprised.
Well, Atlanta ain't really not. It would have been 25 years since they've had
any kind of championship level fights.
This is why.
And the whole thing was messed up. I mean, you had, from the beginning, you had Atlanta talent as far as rappers and R&B stars. They're like, oh, everything should be, you know, Atlanta musicians and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but they had all those Atlanta strippers up there, man. The
Atlanta strippers. The strippers always get paid, man.
They were getting paid.
They were getting paid. They get paid from the Falcons.
Them dolls were like, they were getting their money up for real.
Yeah. And I know Mayweather let it rain. Made it rain a couple of times.
I'm sure.
You know, he's made a fortune here with this. What's this strip club called here?
Girl Collection. It's not far from here. I like passed it on the way over here.
Yeah, I got to pick up a shift in a little bit. Y'all come see me at Girl Collection.
Listen, I ain't always been their mama, so you know, mama know how to make money.
Oh, yikes! The Gold Digger video. We will show that at the end of every show from now on. So Tank and Bud Crawford going at each other on Twitter. Crazy. And then you have Shakur Stevenson, Josh Warrington.
Yeah.
That would be a really good fight.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at it. But so these are all these 4 dudes. So it's funny you had Bud Crawford and Shakur Stevenson, who are friends and they're stablemates. And so they were engaged. I want them to tweet more often. It was a great show. Yeah. Actually, like, Bud is starting to, like, come out and, like, be more of who he is. Stop asking him about getting shot. Oh, my God. You know, and other side of the street. Like, let the man just talk and holler at you for a minute. But he got into it with Tank and basically was saying, you can put a 38-year-old Gamboa out on one leg. What you think you're going to do against Loma? And I think he's right.
That absolutely changes a lot of perception about that proposed fight. Lomachenko against Tank Davis there. I think Loma would toy with this kid.
And what did you think how much the weight cut affected Tank? Because he was gassed after 5 rounds.
He looked tired. He looked tired, and I think that's what I'm saying. I think if Gamboa would have been healthy, younger in his prime, that Tank Davis, no, man. I think Gamboa would have. I don't think he would have knocked him out. And he was always susceptible, like you said, to the knockout. But he ate those shots, and I think he would have outboxed him.
Because Tank has the power, but
Tank's got power. But the thing about Tank Davis is that he's fallen in love with the power. He wants that big knockout every single time. And when these guys can't get it, they face opposition like a Loma and things like that, where they can't get that clean shot. They don't know how to box. They don't know how to stick and move and jab and things like that. They're looking for that one big shot.
Yep.
And if it doesn't come, they get UDs, and then they're done. Take the title and get out of the way. So yeah.
Did you catch the corner? So Tank is, he actually has been with this trainer, and I cannot remember the name, for a long time. And the trainer basically got Tank out of some trouble off the streets, and it is known in the community as well to also get other young boys kind of straightened out and to get them involved in boxing and get them out of trouble. Really good guy. But he's talking to Tank, and he was like, when I say penitentiary, I want you to just stab him, just shank them. And I'm like, just shank. And Tank is looking at him. He's going, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But he was listening.
And
he was listening to take a
yelling
direction.
Penitentiary out
Penitentiary.
to stab him in the ribs.
Well, you gotta have something that cuts through the noise. It was a full house. They're screaming.
Yeah.
I understand the method behind it. I understand the madness to that.
It's madness.
But it was hilarious to watch live and to hear.
Penitentiary.
When I yell penitentiary, you shank him.
That's not even a word that most people
Shake this
it's
fool.
coming
What?
out. It's not part of the lexicon in your normal. When's the last time you used the word penitentiary?
Yeah, Gambo's sitting in the other corner going, "What?" He said he was
He's
going
like,
shank me.
I told you I can't go right.
I got one leg. You gonna send me out there to get shanked?
Like my shoe, my foot coming out my shoe.
Poor guy, man. Poor guy. All right, here's the one I want. Let's see. McGregor versus Khabib too.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Yeah, I think this one actually might happen.
Mm-hmm.
If Conor McGregor wins, he beats Donald Cerrone.
Yeah.
Khabib beats Tony Ferguson. I think this one happens in the fall.
They go back down.
They go back down, and I think McGregor makes some adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little bit different outcome this time. No, it's not a different outcome. I think he gets beat again, but I think it's a better show.
I think it can happen, but I don't think it's going to happen with Khabib wearing the belt. I think Ferguson's
you
going
think
to get
Ferguson's going to give him that work, huh?
Yep, I actually do. I think that this is Tony's fight, and this is the one that he has trained his whole life for.
If they actually fight.
If they fight.
It's been scheduled, 5 times before?
And it's still too long away for me to be.
April?
Yeah. April.
April, yeah.
That is a long, that is forever.
Are
in
you
the MMA
going
world.
to that? You going to try to go?
Where's that?
It's in New York.
Ooh.
Yeah, Habib says he's not going to fight here again. He's mad.
He's mad that he jumped the
He's
jumped the
mad
railing.
that they penalized him and as heavily as they did, and they should have penalized Conor for not jumping over just as badly.
I'm tired. I'm tired of Khabib's dad, honestly, myself.
Oof.
Dads and managers and people like that that talk all this trash, and they're not the ones who get in cage. It's infuriating.
I'm tired of all the daddies.
All your dads and your moms.
Except for
too.
Devin Haney's daddy.
Yeah. Sean Porter's dad.
Yeah.
Porter's dad's a really good dude.
Yeah. Kenny.
The winner of Wilder Fury versus Joshua to unify these titles. I wish that would happen in 2020. That ain't gonna happen in 2020.
Eddie Hearn doesn't want it.
We already talked about it. Eddie Hearn don't want that smoke for his guy.
He want to talk about it.
He wants Fury and Joshua, absolutely. He does not want Deontay Wilder to beat this guy. Because then he's out of it too.
Yeah.
He's got no
That's true.
He's got no fighters left in that heavyweight game.
That's
true. Because Wilder's like, and Wilder will fight whoever. He's a warrior, but he ain't gonna.
Michael Hunter. What did Michael Hunter just fight on that DAZN card? Oh goodness gracious!
As you work that out, we go to another one. This would be a fun one, and this one may actually happen this year too. As mentioned, Lomachenko against Teofimo Lopez. This one would be fireworks right here. Lopez and Loma.
Listen, if Teofimo Lopez gets his hands on Loma, he might change some people's minds.
Lopez has the speed and the power. His hands are crazy fast.
And
he made Comey look like nothing.
I mean,
second
worked
round,
him in the second round. And I think now that he's got his, again, another one with his daddy training him, but he's got his head right. And I think Top Rank has done the right thing with him and allowed him to have that steep competition now.
Yeah.
Instead of, I think he's actually more ready than Devin Haney is, even though, I know Haney has an injury and all, but Teofimo Lopez and Loma,
that would be.
And I also think from
huge.
a profit perspective, like they both bring an audience that they can sell pay-per-view on that one.
Yeah, that would be one of those fights. I think even the casual, they would hear so much about it because it would be a true super fight where both guys are in their primes. They're young. They're Loma should be undefeated. Lopez is undefeated. And two. That would be a legacy fight right there. That would be, whoever won that fight, they would be primed for greatest in that division, in this generation kind of talk. And Loma's been caught before. He's been knocked down. He's been, and Loma doesn't necessarily do that one punch knockout stuff.
No,
he works you down over rounds. The thing about Loma that always kind of disappoints me is that he's a play with his food kind of guy. He's really good.
Man. He's playing a video
but
game.
He's I'm going to jab you over here, then I'm going to swing around, then I'm going to jab you over here. I like it, but then sometimes I'm like, just put this fool away, man. You're obviously better than this guy. Please just put this guy away.
Eat the food.
Yeah,
man.
Eat your food, man.
Yeah.
But Teofimo Lopez has that, like I said, he's got the speed. He's got the hand speed, too.
Yeah.
And, man, he's got some serious power.
Yeah. And he can do a backflip.
Yeah, and he does all the Fortnite dances.
Can you imagine,
like
going, look, Gamby went 12 rounds on one leg. After Teofimo Lopez's fights, he does backflips.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have that kind of energy after a fight. Let me go whoop some ass and then do a backflip.
I did a backflip falling down my stairs a couple weeks ago. And that was totally involuntary.
That hurts.
Yeah, it hurts sometimes, But also, talk about a guy who's young. He's engaging. He's got the look. He's got the pedigree. He's got the, you could really make a star out of this guy.
Yep, and they're trying.
And they're trying. Yeah. And they should try. And because he's got it, man. Floyd Mayweather. Floyd does come back.
Why you do this?
And fight again. The options, could we see a Floyd Mayweather versus a Lomachenko or a Lopez or any of the top welterweights not named Manny Pacquiao? No, you don't see it.
No, but
I would love to see it.
I
would love to see it. Maybe Manny, yes.
Yeah, but they're not going to put this young buck in there.
Floyd, he is not dumb.
Right.
He's not dumb, and
he's crazy, but he ain't
again
dumb.
The risk reward. The risk versus Manny Pacquiao goes way down compared to a Lopez and a Loma or a Bud Crawford or any of those cats like that.
And they're going to play all kinds of games with Manny. He's going to have to pee in a cup like several times a day and all kinds of other stuff would happen. But
all kinds of stuff. Blood work, the day of the fight, and all that
As you're going into the ring.
Yeah, as you're going into the ring, and then Roger gets to berate you for 3 minutes about losing his shoe in the back of the offices. And all kinds of crazy stuff. But I love that. I love that Lomachenko. Going back to Lomachenko, I love that he's ringside for all of these fights. So he gets the top welterweights, and everyone's calling him out, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." But it's all got to make sense. The money's got to make sense. The stage has to make sense, and he knows against most of these guys, he's the A side.
Yeah.
If you're the A side, you get to dictate terms. And so while he's off doing whatever he's doing,
get the big piece of
some
chicken.
Of these guys, he's like, "Hey, I'll fight the mandatory challengers right now while you guys get lined up." But I think some big things are in store for that whole division. Welterweight's crazy.
It has to be. It has to be. And I also am very suspicious if we get Errol Spence back.
Oh, not this year.
I don't think we're going to get him back this year. Not his injuries, and then also,
if it is, it's going to be late in the year. Late.
Very,
Christmas time.
So late, it's going to be 2021.
Yeah. New Year's fight.
Yeah.
I put on here Kayla Harrison. We mentioned Kayla earlier in the show. Kayla Harrison at Pro Fight League? Pro Fighters League. I don't know, whatever. PFL, that's what I call it. PFL. She just won their $1 million championship. First $1 million champion on the women's side or whatever. 2 gold medals, I think.
Judo.
Judo. And crazy athletic, crazy big and strong, like a refined, Ronda Rousey, maybe. I guess I don't know.
Stronger Ronda.
Stronger, maybe stronger. That's
a more Midwest version.
But right now they have her in Can Crush mode too.
She just sat on that girl for the whole time. I was like,
I was waiting for you to say that.
If you
she
don't
just
get
sat on top of her.
Big behind off of me, I would just be so mad. She just sat on her the whole time. Like, let me put this cheek over here on you.
It was like jujitsu sparring class for her. She was just, it was just a regular practice for her. She was just like trying different holds and like, hold on, let me punch you in the face. All right.
And
like
had the turkey sandwich.
Yeah,
like, in the
she
middle,
got up there.
like,
She was talking to people. She was having a Miller Lite.
Like, I'll wait. I was waiting on
it was Miller
bar.
time.
It just didn't happen. But I mean, the problem is when you look at Kayla and Cyborg, there's nobody in their weight class. Like, nobody.
There are maybe 4 or 5 women in that entire division that are legitimate.
And they're all spread out.
All spread out in different companies.
Maybe they should just get together.
Yeah. Give me one night where all of these companies work together and do a Grand Prix. Give me a Grand Prix. Let's see who's best.
They're
Amanda
not.
Nunes. You can even put Jermaine Durandamy back in there. You can, throw in Kayla and Cyborg and
that's it.
Let them go at each other because there's no one else and they're all in different companies.
No one else.
So who's Amanda Nunes going to fight now? That's a legitimate competitor at that weight.
Nobody.
She's just, like I said last show, she's just going to be champ of nothing.
She's going to squat
champ
on that
of the
belt,
division.
and that's it.
You know, but that, to me, that would be a good fight.
Yeah.
Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes? That would be a great fight.
I think Amanda, I think Amanda's too mobile for her. And I think that Amanda, although we haven't seen Amanda's ground game in a minute.
Well, the last fight, she drug Durandamy down for 5 rounds and beat her up.
Down.
But Jermaine is not Kayla Harrison.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be a different fight. But then again, on the feet, Kayla Harrison's obviously
if
not
she
there.
makes it to the ground, she has a chance. But
that was the Ronda Rousey
like,
thing too. If they made it to the ground, it was over. But
that's what the fight would look like. It would probably look like what she did to Ronda.
Yeah.
Kick her in the head.
I was at that fight. I was at the T-Mobile for that fight, and that was the saddest thing to watch. Oh man. So Amanda Nunes just smacked the crap out of her. 48 seconds, man.
Ooh, doo-doo out of her.
Yeah, so those are kind of some fights. I think we named more than 10.
I don't know.
Who else you got? What else you got?
Caleb Plant and David Benavidez wants to see that, and that fight actually could happen. Looks like Caleb has a nice homecoming plan. It should not be too difficult.
The Nashville special, a hot chicken special.
Yeah, Nashville hot.
I'm happy for Caleb Plant. He gets to fight at home. You know.
Here.
He lives out here in Vegas now. Trains primarily out of here. So, and we said before, we need to reach out to him.
Yeah.
After he puts the whooping on his boy.
No, he's training here.
Is he still here in town?
Yeah.
Right now? I thought he had already gone over to Nashville. No, because this fight's not till the
he gave away
end of the
some
month.
turkeys, but no, he's still here. So we'll be efforting. I'll reach out to Jordan, wifey, because happy wife.
Happy life.
There you go. So I want to see that fight. Actually,
happy wife. What's that? Wrong answer. Hello, honey. Thanks for watching.
2 warriors going at it, and then the other one that we didn't talk about was Bivol and Beterbiev.
Okay, that's a good one.
Dimitri Bivol. Fight Bivol right now.
Nobody. I think both of those guys. Nobody wants. That's why when Canelo pulled Sergey Kovalev out of the trash bin and fought him and took his title, that's why I'm like, he's not fighting, Dimitri or.
Yeah.
He's not fighting again the risk reward kind of thing.
Right.
You're not going to put Canelo versus Bivol is a totally different fight.
It's a whole different fight. Okay. It's an actual fight.
It's an actual fight.
It's a fight. Like they're not going to.
You don't get those 3-hour DAZN pieces with Chris Mannix, asking stupid questions to Canelo, who answers in Spanish for some reason.
Which is still weird, right? Canelo's English is at least as good as Gennady Golovkin's English, and
his English is excellent, and he obviously understands him.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have an interpreter there with him.
Right.
Sometimes they keep a person near him just in case.
Right.
But his English is what I get that he's appealing to the Spanish-based
He
fans
wants to
who
be the
already
anti-Oscar.
he got he got a rough deal from the Mexican fans when he was first starting out. He didn't look the part,
Right.
That's some horrible stuff. He didn't look the part. He didn't sound the part. He wasn't a real Mexican because he's not dark enough, and he has got the red hair. He got the short straw from those fans.
Yeah.
But now he's like the only champion they got, really.
Yeah.
And so now they're like, hey, Canelo.
But I think, too, Oscar may have gotten in his ear, too, is that, we're going to handle this a different way. And then he drank the Kool-Aid early, and now there's no going back, although I think he can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely can, but
they paid him in U.S. dollars, though, didn't they?
I'm sure they did. They ain't paying nobody in pesos.
365 million pesos.
365 million pesos. That's a whole different thing. But no, Bivol better be in. The last one on my list was Burchell and Herring.
Ooh.
I think Burchell is the best 130-pounder in the world.
Really?
And the only one who can test him is going to be Herring at this point. And that fight, it could happen. It could happen. Bob Arum has shown himself to be a promoter that, like, if his guy wants to fight, he's going to figure out, he's going to make the offer at least.
Yeah.
And I think he's too old to be playing these reindeer games with people. So he's going to make the offer. Let's see.
Al Heyman and Bob Arum, over the last couple of years, they've seemed to turn a corner as far as difficult as they've been in the past to make certain fights and work with each other. And, they've seemed to do, now they seem to be on better terms as far as matchmaking and things, which only benefits fight fans overall, And so when Dana White says, hey, working with Al Heyman was a breeze. It was the easiest fight we've ever put together. And, of course, Floyd Mayweather and all that stuff.
Like, fool, let's go get this money.
Yeah, and now Eddie Hearn seems to be the Don King of the world. So, as far as not ripping off fighters, but just
Lord
just making it difficult on everyone. He's protecting his boy. So there you go. Some fights that we hope happen this year, but who knows?
Well, we didn't talk about Terrence Crawford because
didn't talk about Bud. Although anything, people are avoiding Bud right now.
Yeah, I'd like to see him fight anybody.
I would like to see him fight anyone
except Sean Porter.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
Exactly.
Don't fight your friend, man.
No.
Don't let them do that to you.
And Sean Porter, too. I mean, Sean Porter always puts exciting fights on, and he seems to be, like I said, that welterweight division is so deep, man. He's one of those guys that's stepping up to fight anybody.
You think Keith Thurman might fight him?
Thurman needs to. He needs to rebound.
Yeah.
I know he'll probably take a softer fight before that, but he can't be scared, man. At this point, your O's already gone. You got to get out there and start. If you can come in there and he wins, he defeats Bud Crawford, you're right back in the mix, as pound for pound.
Talk about two dogs. So Terrence Crawford showed me something different in his last fight, although he fought a guy who's not necessarily on his level, but he's got a meanness in him. It's a whole different level of competitiveness.
Ooh, that is right.
Yeah.
That man throws with aggression.
Yeah,
he's like Lopez, like Lopez does. When Lopez is done screwing around, and he eats some solid shots from you or whatever, you see a change in his face. You hear it in the instruction from his dad in the corner. It's like, let's end this, and he starts throwing with just, extreme hate, man. Yeah, he's looking to take people's souls.
They're fighters who happen to be good boxers.
Yeah, and they got a chip. Each one of those guys they have that chip that you really want.
Yeah.
So coming up, 2 weeks away, Conor McGregor, Donald Cerrone. Conor McGregor's he looks jacked. Donald Cerrone's doing the laid back thing.
Yeah.
But no doubt this is a really big fight. This is a very important fight.
It is.
For Conor McGregor. Not for Cerrone. I mean, it's good for him. It's going to help his bank account.
Right.
But this is a really important fight for Conor McGregor.
Yeah, and since it's here, the Nevada Boxing Athletic Commission will give us the purses to show. So who knows what the deals are in the back room between the promoter. But we will know what they're going to get paid. I just think that for Conor, he has to win convincingly. If he gets a decision over Donald Cerrone, where does that leave him? I mean,
People have gotten so used to Conor McGregor dominating people when he does dominate people
close the show.
that I don't think they would accept that. They would be like, well, still, you didn't
Right.
put him away, and Donald Cerrone's old, and they've already got the excuses lined up. And so, oh, no, if he fought Khabib again, Khabib would just kill him again.
Because at 170, he don't want none of that.
No.
And the guys who are above Cerrone, you don't want those fights.
No.
You want Usman?
I'm surprised again that he's fighting at 170. He had trouble with Nate Diaz, who is not a big 170. He is, and Nate Diaz don't know. He knows jiu-jitsu mats, but he don't see a gym. He ain't got no muscle tone whatsoever. He's just a skinny guy who can punch and take a punch and all that stuff. But he ain't Masvidal. He ain't Usman.
No.
He's not even Covington or any of those guys. Those guys who cut 15, 20 pounds just to make that. Mm-hmm. Connor's bulked up, and he looks like he weighs about 168. Solid muscle, you know.
Because you got to think Masvidal is next.
Masvidal would have to be next
if he's at 170. They're not. He doesn't get they're not going to give him Kamaru.
No.
You know, I think they would tear the whole place up. But meaning like the fighters, because he does not. He hasn't earned that fight. So you go back down. Then at Khabib, so you get another title shot after winning one fight in 2 years.
It's a UFC.
Yeah.
That's what Dana does, man. He'll make up a title.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He'll make up a title.
He did.
Whiskey drinking champion of the world.
Right.
And we'll put it on him. We'll have I was gonna say, because The Rock already did the last one. Like whiskey drinking championship. It'd be like Tara Reid, Lindsay Lohan. It'll be the below champion of the world.
Who's making a comeback? She was on the CNN New Year's Eve.
That was for me. That was for no one else. That made me laugh.
It was mean.
It was mean-spirited. But she is making a comeback, huh?
She
is she doing what? What is she doing?
Acting and singing, Lord. And I think writing a book or something like that. I don't know.
Writing a book.
Ghost
writing a book.
Well,
having a book ghost written.
She's going to sit down with somebody who's a writer, and she's going to talk to them, and they're going to tell her what she's going to say. She's
going to slur, and they're going to decipher what she said.
However it comes out, it's how it comes out.
Get paid, baby. I ain't mad at you.
Get your cornbread.
Yeah, one time. Whatever. have people questioning life choices.
My life, Jesus, and my life.
Jesus Cristo, help me. What should I do? All right, well, that's it. That's the show for this week.
Yeah, man.
Next week. Oh, it's some fun.
Yeah.
What do you want to do next week? What talk about?
Yeah.
We'll talk some pro wrestling next week.
Oh my.
We're gonna talk some pro wrestling.
Wrestling.
Yeah, let's talk about some wrestling.
We're gonna have a guest next week.
Yeah, let's have a guest, and we'll make sure we do some pro wrestling because it's totally out of your depth.
Yeah.
So you just be like, "What is this?"
I would have to watch it, man.
I'm gonna send you some tapes. I'm gonna send you some Hulk Hogan, some Andre the Giant.
I've seen that. Like,
okay, you've seen that, so you know that. There you go.
What was the dude who had the rubber bands in his ear? Macho Man.
Oh, Macho.
Yeah.
Rubber bands in his ear.
Did he have rubber bands in his earrings or something?
I think you're talking about Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior. He wore the bands. Was always.
Look at Macho, and he had rubber bands he would wear in his Macho Man.
Macho Man.
You see how much? But I did used to watch some wrestling.
So there you go. You got a good
Killer
base.
Bees. I know these people.
Captain Lou Albino had it.
Captain Lou Albino. Jimmy Snuka.
I don't know. Again, I'm hungry, and I just watched Karan eat some. I thought it was some.
It was vegan.
No,
vegan.
I was going to offer it to you.
It was pineapple on it, right?
Yes.
What?
See? I know. Like
pineapple.
even I like
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful moment. We could be friends. I like the pineapple on the pizza.
I don't put pineapple on cheese.
I bet you. Right.
You would like it.
You were not vegan. You would go to CC's. CC's pizza. That's you. That's what I'm thinking. CC's and CC's.
I'm so bougie when it comes to pizza, you guys. Like it has to be like Grimaldi's.
If you're a vegan, you got to take it where you can get it.
No. I'm not a vegan. I'm vegetarian.
Whatever. Same difference.
It has to be like the $30 a pie pizza. In fact, I'm having that for dinner.
I might have a coupon for you for a Pizza Rock. Pizza Rock, they got that bougie pizza.
And that's in my hood, too.
There you go.
Hey.
I might have that.
Woo-hoo.
I'll have to check the bag after this. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, for all the comments and everything to me.
Hey, Nick Hamilton.
See, there you go.
Hey, Nick Hamilton, Nightfall Media.
All right. So for the Sportsnista, I am Jeremy Long. He's Quan the 5'9". We'll see you back here next week. Pro wrestling, vegan pizza. It's going to be crazy. We'll see you next week.